I'm going to talk a little bit about really the home building market and what we're seeing in Houston right now. And I just thought I'd start by saying if change is good, this must be great because there's a lot of things that are changing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what's changing and what I see kind of staying the same. And right now, the pendulum always moves fastest right in the middle. And that's where we are right now. We're in a period where the pendulum's moving very, very quickly in the markets, and you have to respond in ways that are a little discomforting sometimes. And so this is a quote from me, and I think I may have liked the recession better. Who knows, but we won't go there, I'm going to go over some of the things that are changing. The master plan communities, the sales leaders, they're evolving right now. And you can see that if you go back to 2006 or 6, 7 years ago, that they represented about 20% of the market. It rose up to 35% of the market. That's I want to thank Metro Study for some of my slides today, David Jarvis. But you can see that it evolved, and it's always a flight to quality. We've seen this in previous recessions where the people will seek out the better communities. But if you look at the top 10 communities in the city, whether it's the Woodlands or Cinco Ranch, these master plan communities are actually reaching the end of their available lots. The Woodlands took us in one time and told us that they had 2,800 lots. They're selling 1,000 years. They have 2.5 years left of business. So, we saw a time back when Kingwood and Copperfield and First Colony and Clear Lake City, those were the areas. That was John's work, but those were the times. And then those passed, and you have new leaders. So that's one thing that's happening right now. We're seeing new leaders that are evolving. And an example of an area that's going to be changing quite a bit is west of the Beltway 8 and north of I-10. That's, of course, being opened up by the extension of the Grand Parkway. This is just a small sampling from Land Advisors showing the land that's been purchased out there. I think everybody's going in pretty quick and heavy. And what's going to happen to that area is going to be completely transformational. And I pulled up this slide where this is 1995. It shows basically Cinco Ranch and Grand Lakes. Nothing was going on. You flash forward 14 years later, which is really a pretty quick period of time, and the whole area is completely different, whether it's no matter what the commercial, the retail, everything about it's changing. So I think we're going to see the master plan communities evolve, the leaders who's selling, and the areas will be changing completely. They'll be changing, all this will create changing school district perceptions. That's critical, but there are schools that people are going to be evolving to. And now we're in a period of super low existing home supply right now. It's a big deal. Basically about 3.1 months of inventory, and I'm a big Dilbert fan, so I really like this, and I felt like it reflected, how quick people have to move when they're making a decision about a house. They get involved, and it's just time to go. You sell a house. We have buyers on the books right now that they wanted to, their house sells instantly. They want us to build their house in 3 months. We're seeing lot bidding by land developers where they're actually sending the lots out to bid. I think that is a temporary thing. I don't really think it's a healthy thing. If you're a master plan community developer, one of the things that you bring is you bring structure to the community. It's not just whoever pays the most gets the land and builds the houses. I think this will change quickly, but it's reflective of this graph, which is basically since 2009, we've been absorbing more lots than we've been delivering. It's about 10,000 lot gap every year, so we're absorbing lots that were delivered during the pre-recession, and that's evolving right now as well. And it's also reflected in the total sales offices. These are how many model homes parks or builders have open. You can see it's essentially flat, even though we've gone from like 17,000 starts to 27,000 starts. We're doing it out of the exact same sales offices because there's not new communities out there. There's more builder-owned land. This is a real evolution in Houston. Historically, the development community has been the primary deliverer of lots, and that is not evolved. You can see the relationship is about 10,000 builder acres and 20,000 developer acres, and so the developer community is still alive and well, but we're seeing more lots delivered by builders themselves. We have longer outlooks on deals. I mean, it used to that developers would, they would be able to get a loan, they would start their lots, they would come in and try to sell us lots that are finishing. Now, they've got a long outlook. They have to have their contracts lined up early. So we're really buying our lots maybe, 2-3 years in advance, and that is different. There's lots of new builders and brands and acquisitions and mergers going on, just to name a few. Just in the last, year or two, 30 months maybe, we have Toll Brothers, Shea Homes, a private builder, large, MI, Sitterly out of San Antonio, Megatel out of Dallas. One thing we don't have enough of here apparently is competition, so we're going to have some more. Actually, the system-wide there's a significant challenge to build homes today. The guys who were trades and vendors and so forth, they went out during a pre-recession, they rented the next warehouse, they bought 5 more trucks, they did all these things. Recession they got crushed down, 50,000 to 17,000 starts. There's not a real rush to go rent the warehouse next door, do whatever it takes to expand. They're very measured. So we're seeing human talent shortages, including executives, employees, trades, and craftsmen, all the way across the board. Be a big demand right now to find talent. Another important change is repurposing of land. I mean, our city is mature enough now where we're going to see a lot of housing stock torn down, lots of new things happening. This is in the museum district. It's a lot that Trendmaker bought. One lot. We're not really the experts at this at all. There are lots of people doing it very, very well. David Weekley Holmes and others go on who have really mastered this. But we took that lot, which is 70 by 120, and we're tearing down the house and building 4 houses. So it's a repurposing of land. We're building elevations like this. These houses sell for $600,000, $700,000, $800,000. We're going to see more of that. So an interesting project that's not come to fruition yet, but probably will, is located in Northwest inside the Loop, and it's basically a master plan community of houses, just what I showed you a minute ago. So the repurposing of land is a new experience that we're seeing right now. Also, and when you're evaluating the market as a home builder, we're seeing 2 demographic bubbles. It's basically the baby boomers and the millenniums. Those groups are about equal, about 75 million people. The question is, are the baby boomers going to buy their last house? And are these millennials going to buy their first house? But it's changing what we have to do for the houses. Trendmaker, we don't really offer a house that doesn't have 2 suites down, a master suite and a full guest suite. It's because of this, because the younger families that are buying it, they know they may have a relative living with them. It changes the products that we offer significantly, the land planning that we do, and how we consider what's happening. It's definitely a change. Also, another important change are federal rules that we're seeing. And, we hear a lot about, that the administration is issuing, 1,000 new rules a week and so forth. And we look at them, read about them in the paper, and, we don't know if they sound remote, like they're not part of our business. There is some rules that are being proposed that are going to dramatically affect our business directly. If your business in any way involves taking unimproved land and improving it, then you should pay attention, because this is not in the future, this is now, this is not maybe, this is for sure. And part of it's really relying on what I would call, or some people might call, new science, new findings. This is an example of that. This is done by a guy, Brad Wilcox, out of Texas A&M. It's evidence of surface connectivity for the Texas Gulf Coast depressional wetlands. So what they're talking about, and this is their word, not mine, but prairie potholes. That means any kind of depression that you have in your property, if the rain falls on it, then they're trying to alter the definition of a significant nexus between the navigable waterways. This study provides the kind of documentation called for by Justice Kennedy and Rapinoe's decision that demonstrates a substantial nexus between the headwater depressional wetlands and the Texas coastal plain, navigable waterways of the U.S., the nexus that is not a speculative, but is a result of scientific observation. It says, suggested unless demonstrated otherwise, the depressional headwater wetlands at least in the upper Texas Gulf Coast plain, as a class, should be considered hydrologically connected and navigable waterways in the U.S. and thus must play a critical role. Bottom line is the definition that we've all lived in, operated under, had success with in terms of what is a jurisdictional wetland is evolving, and so all of us here need to pay a great deal of attention to that. I'm going to skip a couple of slides and tell you about what's staying the same. First of all, Houston is still a spec home market. Trendmaker, we build more than half of our homes that we close were started as spec homes. And it's a big competitive advantage for us to be able to do that. We believe in that market. It's good. School perception still drives homes. And I never really appreciated it, how much of a role that plays in Houston. Many other cities like Las Vegas, they have one school district. So it's not the same mentality as we have here where there's so many different school districts and it's very specific and you have to pay attention to it. But school perception does drive home demand, and I did say those perceptions would be changing, but it's still fundamental. Houston is still a supply-rich market, and that's a great thing for consumers. It's truly a free market, and it's a big deal. So you can see here in terms of, while I showed you a minute ago a lot shortage where we're delivering 10,000 too few lots, well, the Houston economy, when we ramped up to 55,000 starts, we put those lots on the ground. It happened, and then when it went down in the recession, we cranked all the way down. Now it's on the way back up. It's a little bit like a slingshot. It takes a second to catch up, but it's on its way. You can see that there's essentially 70,000 lots out there. We're going to build 25,000 houses. So the lot bidding and the shortage and the experience that we've had over these last 24 months, it is going to evolve. There's lots in the pipeline. You saw the graph of the charts. The land, the acreage that's being purchased. So it's evolving quickly, and I'm just saying that the type of experience that we have in Houston of a supply-rich environment, of homes, and buyers having lots of choices, we're going to get back to that. It's not forever, so this graph will be corrected as a result of what's in the pipeline right now. Also, jobs are driving home demand, not low interest rates. When I first got in the business, interest rates were 17%. We were selling tons of homes. It was a very vibrant market. You've seen it where interest rates are, it's not what makes it happen, it's jobs. So we have Houston right now, maybe 100,000 new jobs a year. Of course, we all read that it's going to slow all the way down to 70,000 new jobs in 2014. Bottom line is that if you look historically, there's lots of different metrics you could use, but it's about 3 jobs creates 1 new housing start. So as long as we have 70,000 new jobs, we're going to see 25,000 new houses built. The truth is, though, there's a lot of catching up to do. There's a lot of pent-up demand in our market. We've seen 115,000 new jobs a year in that category created every year. We should have been building maybe 30,000, 35,000 houses a year. Instead, we've been building about 20. And so people have been moving into apartments. They've been renting houses. Rents now exceed the cost of buying a house. That's going to correct itself. And all those people that came here and said, I think I'm just going to rent a house right now, their rent's going to come, their lease is going to end. They're going to be back on the market. So I think that we're going to see stronger demand than what is going to be offered by the 75,000. It's just a catch-up period, and so we really have, between the pent-up demand and just on the job outlook going forward right now, a very healthy housing market going forward. And in closing, I just want to say that Houston's new home value and quality, complexity, finish is the best in America. Trendmaker, we have 4 other sister companies in other cities, and I go see what people over there are excited about. An $800,000, 2,500 square foot house with half the amenities that you see in Houston, and we see our buyers come here from other markets, and they're just amazed by what they can get. This level of complexity of the home and the high finish that we offer in homes, even a starter home looks fantastic if you go look at it. It is a function of the free market. It's a function of our city's abundant supply and what it takes to compete in the marketplace. If you're going to sell a home in Houston, be a new home builder, you have to really work on your product. You have to really give the buyer a lot to love. People, it's an emotional purchase. They buy what they love, and if they don't love it, they're not going to buy it. So this supply-rich, competitive environment is a great opportunity for people to own new homes, and I appreciate. I hope I stayed inside my time. Thank you.